Hey, welcome to this training video for the Atlantis IOFlow workflow solution using the Connect software with your PrimeScan. So the first thing we're going to do is click on Show All Patients. I'm going to pull up an existing patient here, and we're going to add a case. So in this instance, I have an implant that I'm restoring on tooth number 12 and one on tooth number 14. Because they are different implant sizes, I will set them up individually. So the first one I'm going to set up, I will select implant here under my indications and then select tooth number 12. Under tooth number 12, I'm going to click on the scan, select scan body type, which is a mandatory field indicated by that little star. My manufacturer is Dentsply Sirona. My implant is the Astratech EV 3.6, and then I select my Atlantis IOFlow size P02. And then I'm going to select OK. My typodont comes back up, giving me the opportunity to select that second implant restoration. So now I'm going to select tooth number 14. Again, I have to come down and do the select scan body type. There's that little gold star again. That's a mandatory field. Dentsply Sirona manufacturer. Now this one is the Astratech Implant EV 4.8. And there's that Atlantis IOFlow, that size P4. And select OK. Now I've selected my implant types. Here's a summary over here. I'll just double check that. If I'm ready to go forward, I'm just going to click on next or click on acquisition at the top and move forward into the acquisition phase. As we move forward into acquisition, you'll notice now there are 4 catalogs that we have to fill in here. There's lower jaw, upper jaw, buccal, which is our bite scan, and then our scan body upper. So it automatically defaults to the upper jaw because both of my implants are in that upper jaw. So what I'm going to image here is I'm going to remove any healing abutments, healing collars, anything like that, and I'm going to scan that tissue without the healing abutments there. The next thing I will do is I will place the scan bodies in that upper on number 12 and number 14. I will scan the scan body upper. Then I'll take the opposing and the bite registration. So let's go ahead and capture that upper jaw. Now this is once the healing abutments have been removed, we're going to scan that upper jaw. The key here is to be fairly quick so that that tissue doesn't start to collapse in on your implants there. I'm going to get all of this tooth structure that I can capture here. I'm going to get all of that missing data filled in. There we go. And so next I'm going to place the IOFlows into the implants here. And I'm going to scan those scan bodies. So I have my IOFlows in place and we're ready to scan the scan body upper. So I'm going to click on that catalog. And I'm going to take a second scan. I'm always going to go at least to the midline, if not to that contra canine there. Make sure I'm getting all of this data around these IOFlows. Spending a little extra time here, making sure that I capture all of that critical data. This camera can see up to 20 millimeters in depth, so depth is not a problem here. Let's check this and make sure we've got all of the data that we need. You can see I've gotten an indication with the green check mark. This green check mark indicates that the computer recognizes that the scan body upper and the upper jaw are the same scan, and they're superimposed over each other now. This is a better image of how they superimpose over each other. So this is the original upper jaw scan, and you can see sort of ghosted in there are those IO flows from the scan body upper scan. So that's a really good match. Now we're going to capture the lower, and we'll capture the bite. So let's capture this lower scan. Doing that 3-swipe technique, I go lingual, occlusal buccal, here we go. And now we'll capture that bite registration. So we get the patient to close together. There may be times, depending on the placement of the implants, that the IO flows have to come out, or that you may decide to do the buccal scan before you place the IO flows in. That's completely up to you. In this case, this patient can bite down with them in place. So I'd like to scan them in place here. There we go. And I've gotten a green check mark to confirm that based on the data that I've given the computer, it knew how to set this model and articulate it for me here. But I just briefly double checked that to make sure that the patient was biting down correctly. If so, I can move forward into this model phase. So our images have been processing in the background. They're finishing up that processing as we move forward. And now we're going to check our impressions here. So here's our upper jaw scan. Making sure we can see everything we need to see there. Here's our lower jaw scan. And then here is our scan body upper scan. Again, just confirming that I've got all of the critical data here that the lab is going to need, that I don't have any missing critical data. Let's look at our buccal bite registration here. This is again one last look to make sure that this patient was biting down correctly when we took this bite scan. Super important for our lab to have an accurate bite scan because they've got to design restorations that occlude with these lower teeth properly. Once we've confirmed all of this, now we are ready to send it via Connect. So you're going to connect into your Connect Case Center portal, and you're ready to send this case off to your Atlantis lab partner of choice.